Hello guys!
Hey everyone!
Welcome back to another video on the Jess&Bren vlog channel. Today we're just gonna sit and chat to you guys and have some cookies. We have these sugar-free... What? Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
Just me. You have like a very seductive tone. Welcome back to the Jess&Bren channel.
I'm relaxed and I'm calm.
And we just had some cookies.
Okay, welcome to the channel. Cue the intro.
I wanna laugh out loud, talk a little deeper, kiss a little harder. I wanna laugh out loud, talk a little deeper, kiss a little harder, love a little louder.
Okay, so Jess put out a poll on Instagram asking for
A question box.
a question box, no sorry, not a poll, asking you to ask us questions on relationship, giving you
Not really questions, more to like share your dilemmas. Is it dilemma or dilemma?
I said dilemma, I don't know if it's
Dilemma. Okay. So we've
Dilemma.
gone through them. We didn't just want to randomly just pick one and talk about it, because I think things like this, especially the type of dilemmas you guys shared with us,
Dilemmas?
some of them
I don't know.
I don't know, is
Okay,
it a
sorry,
dilemma
I
or
interrupted you.
dilemma?
Continue.
You're killing my seductive mood, darling. But what I was saying was, we didn't want to just like answer them and just talk randomly. We really wanted to like read through all of your dilemmas and just go through them in our heads and just, you know, think what we are going to say, instead of just, we didn't really think what we were going to say, we just didn't want to be caught off guard.
And we aren't trained professionals.
Yeah.
The advice we give is mostly out of experience or from our perspective, so don't
Take this as a therapy session. We are not professionals.
we're trying to help out, so but if you really do feel like you've got a serious problem or issue or something is really going on in your life, please contact like a professional and look for help.
Yeah. Look for help.
Look for
Seek help.
Seek help.
Seek help where needed.
Yeah.
This is just and we kind of have to do these disclaimers in the beginning, because people can get quite, you know, every relationship is different, every family setting is different, every season of our lives are different. It's just, we all are in different phases of life at the moment. So this is just the advice that we would give. Maybe we've gone through something similar, and we can just chat about it. You can put this video on, do some self-quarantine decluttering and just like listen to us talk. So Brenna's gonna do the first one while I have a cookie.
And so not getting enough attention and being a clingy girlfriend. And so out of personal experience, Jess is extremely clingy. Like, if we'd spend an hour apart or whatever.
I'm not essentially clingy. Okay, I'm clingy,
No,
but
she's,
I have more so separation anxiety.
yeah. Well, but I can't remember the metaphor I was trying to use. But yeah, it's the same thing basically.
What?
Being
clingy?
clingy and being like,
I honestly don't think there's a problem with it. If you don't like your girlfriend being like clingy and like
look, I enjoy it most of the time.
yeah, when do you don't enjoy it?
I'm also a person like when you're in public or in front of parents especially, I'm not that affectionate towards.
But I've learned
Jess
that
over
off.
there.
I've learned that off. Sometimes I forget, and then I'm like, why aren't you kissing me? And then he'll be like, you know the rules, LIEFIE.
It's just that like mostly when we're in public or whatever, we're not too affectionate, over affectionate. I think we do show affection, but I mean, we do also respect the people around us. Yeah.
Like that. But if you're not getting enough attention, are you seeking this attention? Because if I feel like I don't get enough attention from Bren, I'm like, why haven't you called me back? I'm kidding. It's just a mean girls reference. No, but if I feel like I don't get enough attention from Bren, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why?
She's go searching for.
And you do the same with me. When you feel like I don't give you enough attention, you're like, what is wrong with you?
That's
like,
true.
Where's my hugs? Where's my cuddles?
Yes.
Right?
That's right. But I think where we are probably a bit different, or is just in public spaces, where she's like she likes to hold on to me and touch me and feel me around her, and you know, I'm more of not that I'm inclined to it. I just feel that it's not necessary to.
And it's nothing about me. It's nothing to do with that he doesn't love me or doesn't like me. It's just respect for other people. And I must say, I agree. In the beginning of our relationship, I wanted to like kiss him in public and like show all of the girls that he's taken. But I understand.
No. Yeah, so it's not a bad thing to be clingy. I just maybe ask him
what he likes. Maybe he doesn't like you kissing him in the neck. Then just trying to learn it off.
Just compromise.
And do it now and again.
I think both of you should sit down and compromise to like a middle ground to fill both of your needs, you know, in all situations.
Like Bren, sorry. I love it to spank him on the ass. He hates it, but he allows it every now and then.
Like
maybe once a
just
week.
walking past her randomly and all of a sudden just got whacked from.
He hates it, but I enjoy it. Like, it gives me pleasure.
I don't know why. I don't know what pleasure there is in causing pain.
It's not pain.
She winds it up, I'm telling you. It's not like a gentle spank.
But your bulkies are so cute.
It's a smack. Take out all the aggression. Being on social media, sorry, question 2 or statement 2 or
dilemma 2.
How to prevent, so being on social media, how to prevent jealousy and how to stay away from inappropriate conversations.
First of all, you shouldn't allow yourself to get into it. Nevertheless, trying to stay away from it. I have guys sliding into my DMs all the time, but I just block them or delete it. In the beginning of Bren and I's relationship, he would, and we're gonna be honest with you guys, he would get upset with me because guys would DM me or message me saying that, oh, you're so beautiful, and I would be like, thank you. And then he would be like, why are you even replying? I'm just like, I'm just being polite. And then he would be like, you don't know what guys think. Guys just want one thing, and all you do is you think they're nice. And it's true, like, I understand it, but I was just being polite. So with time, I just kind of ignored it. So if you are trying to stay away from inappropriate conversations, you should just like ignore it. And in terms of jealousy, I don't think you can do anything when it comes to jealousy. I mean, if a person is jealous, the person is jealous, but you should just not give the other person a reason to be jealous.
Well, within reason. I mean, if we don't really have friends that is not friends with us both. Meaning I don't have a friend that's a girl that's not friends with Jess, or the other way around.
Yeah, he doesn't have girlfriends, I don't have boyfriends.
But I don't...
You know what I mean?
I don't think it would be a problem if we talk to a person from the other sex. You know, if you could see it was like just a friendly conversation, asking questions, because honestly there's no reason for me to talk to other girls other than when I want to find something out, or when we're working together or organizing something. There's no reason for me to be chatting to someone just randomly, getting to know them.
But if the situation should arise or rose in the past, and a guy would come up to me and like be inappropriate, because it's happened before when guys literally come up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, you are so beautiful, and then Bren would stand next to me and be like, dude, that is not okay. But he wouldn't get aggressive or anything like that, and that's one thing that I love about Bren. He stands his ground. He is still a man. I mean, a man is entitled to be jealous and to be protective of what is his, but there's a difference between being overprotective and obsessive and just being a little bit jealous, because I am jealous too. Like, you guys,
I think we all probably have a little bit of jealousy.
I think we all have a little bit of jealousy because you are afraid of losing what's yours. So yeah, just if you are on social media and I mean you're a guy, don't like random girls' pictures and comments on
don't follow girls that post like constant bikini photos.
Yeah, it's just not okay.
I mean, if you are in a relationship and you are committed to that person, I don't think you need to follow girls that post not inappropriate, but I mean provocative images online.
And even worse, like, don't even comment on your girlfriend's friend's photos saying like, oh, beautiful or stunning.
Yeah, that's
like,
also...
don't do that.
Yeah. Look, I searched Jess's friends on Instagram, but not for the reason of...
Why are you searching my friends?
You need to listen to the conversation.
Oh, have you searched like on your Instagram, my friends?
Yeah, just to see who they are or how many followers they follow.
Okay.
Like for instance, I can't think of a specific name now, but let's like say Kiara. When the first time she talked about Kiara, I would go on and see who the person is and what the page is about. But I wouldn't follow them, or if I follow them, I wouldn't go and like and comment on pages. But yeah, I mostly follow just technology stuff.
And Arsenal,
and
which
sports.
is absolutely ridiculous right now. I really like this guy, but I don't want to date. Please help. Bren was confused at this one at first.
I'm a bit confused, but it's...
I understand her. I understand. Like, she's trying to say that she really likes the guy, but she's probably a very independent, strong woman that doesn't want to give away her independence. She might be afraid of commitment. She might be afraid of getting hurt. There's a lot of pros and cons when it comes to dating. It's not just like going on a date and having dinner and...
Well, for me, if I had to take it from a guy, if let's say a guy said to this message, the immediate presumption would have been, he doesn't really like her, he just wants to get with her, or, you know, have a friends with benefits type situation, which would be very wrong, right? So in my case is why is it seen differently if a girl feels the same way?
I just feel like guys and girls think differently. And
so I'm not saying this is the person's meaning or what they mean with this message. I'm just saying that's the first thing I would have thought if a guy if a guy sent it to me. And I'm just thinking my thing is why would a girl's brain be different? Why would her thought process be different? If you really like someone, you'd want to be in a relationship with
Yes,
them.
exactly. That's exactly what I wanted to say. If you really like someone, you would want to move in with them and like cook breakfast
Well,
together.
they haven't dated yet, but
Yes, but just understand like how I'm trying to explain it. If you really like someone, you want to do all of these things with them. You don't just want to like, I don't know, we are not single people. We haven't been single for a really long time. So it's hard for us to even give advice on people that are single and, you know, dating and all of that. We just thought about it the other day and we were like, oh my gosh, imagine we were single right now. I think it's so difficult, and I take my hat off to everyone like dating different people and, you know, wasting your time on a person that, you know, after the date you find out, oh, this guy is not for me. But just think about it. If you don't spend all of that time trying to search for your person, you will never find him. You're not going to find him being in bed on social media the whole time. You need to get out. You need to like meet people in spaces that you like. So yeah, I don't know how to help with that, but I would think that if you don't want to date him, you obviously don't like all of him.
yeah,
There might be something missing, or maybe you just need to get to know him a little bit better, and then you'll figure it out for yourself.
I mean, if the case is and we misinterpreted it completely and you maybe just came out of a long-term relationship and you're scared of getting back into a relationship or something like that, we're sorry if we offended you, but I mean, we don't really have any background on
We're not here
the
to
questions.
We're not here to step on anyone's toes or
So-
like offend anyone. We're just trying to like honestly and transparently trying to like voice our opinion, or maybe what we would do in the situation, or maybe what could work. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and like I said, it's from our perspective. I mean, it's a 1-line or 2-line message that we receive. We don't have like any insight into the situation, so it's difficult to give like
Feedback on just a little sentence
and
without
you don't
knowing
really
the person. Yeah.
without knowing what's going on, you know, really.
My boyfriend discusses our relationship with his friends, like fights and stuff.
Well, we've gone through this, and sometimes Jess would tell me something, and I'll go
I
to
would
my
call
friends.
him. I would call him and be like, "Come here," and then I would share something with him in privacy, something that bothered me, or so. Say for example, let's just take that one incident that happened. We were dating for like maybe 2 or 3 years or something, and I was upset with something and I called him aside. We were at his parents' house and we were just like braaiing, and obviously we were young, we were drinking, and we were like, you know, socializing. And I called him aside and I was like, you know, this bothered me, and he was like, okay. And then I left to go to the kitchen or something, and then I overheard him like saying exactly what I shared with him. And then I was even more upset, and I called him aside and I was like, you know what, if I wanted everyone to hear my concern or whatever I want to share with you, I would have said it in front of everyone. I call you aside for a reason, because I want to keep whatever's going on between us. And right there and then he apologized, and I don't think it ever happened again. Because the thing is, if I wanted to share it with everyone, I would have just put it on Facebook, or like, you know, blabbered it out to the whole world, to the whole world. But like, I am very, very, very annoying about stuff like that, because whatever happens between us stays between us. If Bren and I have a fight, I don't go and discuss it with my girlfriend. I don't discuss his faults with friends, family, no one. And I would expect him to do the same. I hope you don't do that.
No. Can I once?
What?
So I just want to voice my opinion. I think it's okay within reason. Meaning, if you've got like a serious concern or
You need advice.
you need advice, but like she said, just randomly, you know, small.
But she says here, my boyfriend discusses our
Yes.
relationship with friends.
His fights and etc. That's not right. I'm agreeing with you. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is there's within reason. It is okay if you have a support group. Maybe it's your friends, maybe it's your family, someone you can talk to regarding stuff. But within reason, not every little thing. You can't share every little detail about your relationship and go and badmouth your partner.
You won't
in
go
a-
to
in a
your like
relationship.
friends and
Yeah,
say
you
like,
can't-
oh, Jess did this and Jess annoys
Yeah.
me because of this. Because
Yeah, like I was saying. Sorry, I just want to quickly finish off my point. Like I was saying, is it's not bad mouthing them. It's when you actually go for advice, not telling the person off in front of your friends, but actually, if you really want input and want feedback from your support group, then it's okay. But not with every little detail, not with every little fight. When something serious comes up.
But I do think that it also depends on who you ask for advice or who you get advice from, because you can't be a guy getting advice from all of your single buddies. Do you understand? Like, you can't do that. You'll rather go to your dad or to your
Yes, but
cousin or whatever.
all I'm trying to explain, there are situations where it is okay, but most of the time it's not.
But all I'm trying to say is it's never okay to talk bad about the person you love to anyone.
Well, I personally feel you shouldn't even talk bad about them, even let's say after you break up or whatever, because it just
Shows your character.
it shows your character. At the end of the day, it doesn't reflect their character. Yeah. And then the fifth one is I caught my boyfriend searching a close friend on Instagram. I think I covered it briefly.
But what would you do if you saw me?
Well, like I said, it depends on what the friend is. Have we known the friend for a few years? Does she know the friend, like personally, that she's searching, looking up on Instagram or whatever, searching on Instagram? Have you met him? Have you been together a few times? Or is it someone that we've maybe just met, or I've known for a couple of years? She's just met and she's interested
Now I'm
serious.
like on his Instagram, checking his pictures and like
I
half
mean-
naked selfies. What would you do? You would be upset. You would feel that you're not good enough.
No, but what I'm saying, it depends on the situation. If we've been friends, but you didn't know him, and I've recently introduced him to you.
But we just identified the situation.
No, we didn't. I gave two scenarios. Which situation
So
did you identify?
if you had a friend that you've known all along and I just met him today,
Yeah.
and now we go home and I'm in bed like searching all of his, and he's like really hot and like posts half naked pictures on Instagram, and now I'm
Sure, I
looking.
would feel insecure, but I mean, I think that's not okay. But I mean, she's just interested to see who this person is. On the other hand, if we've known this person for 5 years, whatever, both of us, and now you're scrolling through his Instagram, knowing what he posts, knowing who he is, knowing all of those things, that's much worse, isn't it?
Do you think?
Yes, because I mean, in the one scenario, you're going through it to find more out about him. On the other hand, you already know everything there is about him. Now you exploring his page.
But I feel like you would straight up just ask me like, why are you searching him?
Yes, obviously, it's not a good feeling, but I mean, like I said, it depends on the scenario or what's happening.
But going back to one of the other things we discussed earlier, just touching back onto like the whole Instagram thing, just be respectful when it comes to relationships. Obviously, if you are in a relationship, rather like your own girl's pictures and comment on her pictures and show her that you support her and all of that. But the next one is, I'm going to quickly read it in Afrikaans and then I'll just explain to you guys. Ek's in 'n verhouding vir 5 jaar, maar vertrou nog steeds nie my partner nie. Dis moeilik om net te let go. We got a couple of these where it basically says, I really can't trust my partner for what he did or what he did in the past. He broke my trust and now I don't know how to trust anymore.
I don't know, I feel it's a very difficult road back to gaining trust. It's possible, but I think, like we discussed with Nico in the previous video, if you aren't willing to trust a person, they'll never gain your trust.
Trust is something that you decide
Yeah,
on
you
your
need to give
own
it.
without any external factors taking place. If he maybe, this one says that I can't trust my partner for what he did in the past. So maybe he cheated on you or attempted to cheat on you, and now you are just scared to trust him again. I understand that completely. Like, I think we all have sympathy with, you know, being careful to trust him again, but it's something that you need to make peace with. You need to attract that positive attention to say that, you know what, I know he's not going to cheat on me again, and you know what, if he does, then that has nothing to do with you. It's not a representation of your character. It's just, you know, a representation of his character and the way he is and his morals, essentially. It's got nothing to do with your value and, you know, what you deserve, because let's be honest, sometimes people deserve way better than they receive, and it's just something that you can't predict in the future. So you have to just trust and attract that positive energy and attract the love instead of all of the negative stuff. So
yeah, so if I mean, personally, I feel it's up to you to trust that person again. And if you feel you can't get to a point where you can trust that person again, I don't know what else to tell you, because a lot of our relationship is built on trust, and I think once that pillar is taken away, I think a lot of what we do and what we are will fall away. So it's a decision the person needs to take on themselves.
And I feel like it's a decision you need to do jointly, because the first part of the question, so basically what I did is I got a lot of the same questions that I kind of just merged into one, but the first part of the question was that this person isn't really ready to like let go and trust, and you need to do that. You can't ever love someone and experience someone fully if you don't let go and if you don't trust. But the thing is, you need to do it simultaneously. You need to do it together, right?
No, both people need to trust in the relationship for it to work.
And the next one.
Okay, how do you deal with a spouse who says you've changed, views, behaviors, etc.? I think also we did cover a bit of it in the previous one we did with Jess's our family.
It's like the couple's LIEFIE's advice,
Yes.
which we'll link down below for you guys.
The biggest thing, everyone grows, everyone changes, everyone goes through phases. So my biggest advice on this situation would be is to, as far as possible, try and grow with your spouse or with your partner, so that you grow with the same interests, or you grow together, you know, either in business or in life or in activities, or, you know, just try to find that common ground in interests so that you can actually grow together, because it's inevitable for people to grow. It's gonna happen. So it's up to you and your spouse, your partner, to decide if you will guys,
What did you do? Oh.
if you guys want to grow together and want to put an effort in to grow together.
I feel like this person also, it sounds like her spouse or his spouse or whatever is complaining that they've changed. So it sounds like this one person in the relationship stayed, you know, the same or whatever. I mean, it could all depend on how long you've been dating, but Bren and I have been together for like 8-9 years. We've known each other for 13 years. So for us to not grow is like, it's essential for us to grow, because you need to change like through life. And it sounds like the one person has been growing and changing and, you know, changing their behavior and their beliefs or whatever, and this other person still stays the same, and this other person is expecting you to stay the same. And what you need to do is you just need to sit down and have a serious conversation where you sit down and say, you know what, this is me in my life at the moment. I mean, we went through changes like that as well. We went through, like, I stopped growing for a little while, and then it switched, and then we would kind of fluctuate a little bit, and then we came to a common ground where we were like, you know what, if we want to flourish in this relationship, this marriage, we need to grow together, and we need to be on the same page. If you are not on the same page, then you are not going to understand each other or know each other, because I mean, I think that's essential. So I think it's due for a conversation maybe. I mean, communication is just as important as trust, and it's something that you need to base your relationship on. So if you don't have those two things, it's going to be very difficult for you to grow and like flourish, I think.
Yeah.
The next one is, we don't have the same hobbies or interests. How do we align them so that we can do stuff together?
Yeah, so a lot of our hobbies and interests still don't align.
Well, they don't not align. They're not the same. They differ.
They differ, yeah. So we've got different interests. Like for instance, I enjoy my sports a lot, and Jess doesn't do sports at all. But at least what she does is she comes along. She's not very invested or
all the time, like
participates.
sometimes I am.
No. Yes, it would be nice, but at least she's making an effort to be there. Even though she's not paying attention or whatever, at least she's there. And same with me. She just loves shopping. I mean, she loves shopping.
Way more than I can afford.
And it's something that I really don't enjoy. It's every now and again it's nice to get out and go and buy something for yourself, but it's something that just I don't find that much joy in it. But I do go along and try to support her in her interests and her hobbies. But I think the most important thing is we've tried to compromise and also find things that both of us are interested in.
And sorry, I think this is what you wanted to say, like exploring new stuff together, so that you can maybe find an interest that you both love, and then maybe you can do that once in a while.
Like not before I met Jess, but that's still long ago. Before YouTube and Instagram or whatever, even a few years into her Instagram and her YouTube, I had absolutely no interest in cameras or in stuff like that, or video editing, and once I actually started doing it, and look, I haven't really done photography that much, but I've found an interest in videography, and I mean I actually just took it and I combined it with my love of technology. Now I can use drones and new gadgets for the cameras, and just explore technology through her interests,
Yeah.
So I mean, what I did was I took one of my interests and I just aligned it with hers. So now I can actually do something I enjoy while working on something that she enjoys. Yes, we still have things that we don't. We don't do that well, like sports.
I'm never gonna have an interest in sports. I never had. I'm never gonna have an interest in sports, but when he like has a soccer game or a cricket game or whatever, I would always go and watch. I wouldn't pay attention 100% of the time because I don't have interest in it, but I make a conscious effort to watch him when he's bowling, or
when someone tells her
look,
it's Brendan's
yes, that became a thing at the cricket games. People would like remind me because I didn't pay attention. I was like editing and working and doing stuff that I love, but I was still there with him. And then whenever he bowled, his mom and like his friends would be like, Jess, Bren bowl. And then I would watch and then I would cheer. But it's just, just small things to show interest and just to give your time. I think time is one of the most important commodities we have, or like the most valuable commodities we have. So just to like give that time, even if you don't have an interest, I think. But I think there's a lot of things that we can still explore together.
And a lot of things we can improve on. When we're not perfect, we still have our odd tiff, especially in the shops when I'm on my phone.
Yes, like it, you guys. Whenever we go into a shopping mall, even just to buy groceries, he's like, phone. And then I'm like, what do we need? And then he's like, I don't know. And then I would be like, can you just like, it's gonna go so much quicker if we just talk about it and like say, oh, we need this, oh, maybe we can do this for dinner, we can do that for lunch tomorrow.
Well,
and let me tell you, if you complain about something and you voice what you are feeling inside of your heart and thinking in your head, that person will know. He's not gonna smell it. He's not gonna just like say, oh, Jess is just unhappy. You need to.
I could say the same about the cricket thing. You could watch the whole game and the game would go so much quicker if you weren't on your phone.
No, it goes very quickly when I'm on my phone.
But that's a case for another vlog.
So just to like give our advice to this question, it's perfectly normal to not have the same hobbies or the same interests. You are not two of the same people. God made you uniquely the way you are and beautifully the way you are, and it's just to kind of like combine the two and just make it your own story and explore new things and try new things. Maybe you'll find something you'll love.
Like Jay said, just explore and try to find a hobby or two that you both have interest in. And then by doing that you'll spend more time together. And number 9, so it's our last 3 questions.
Yeah, we just chose like 10 already.
I live with my partner, but from time to time he wants his own space. You know, it's something that I think comes up quite often. We also talk about it a lot between our friends, and we've had this discussion with a lot of our friends, and I think a lot of them have different opinions on time apart. I personally feel it's healthy to sometimes spend.
It's perfectly normal.
You know, to spend a bit of time apart. What's that saying? What? Distance makes absence
the heart grow fonder.
Yeah. And it's true, even though if it was just an hour or 2 hours, I was at maybe a men's fellowship or doing something like that. So
yesterday he was at a men's fellowship at the church, which by the way, especially with the like self-quarantine going on, he still decided to go to it to like improve on his faith and stuff like that. But they had so many like precautionary measures, which
so
was really nice.
We weren't allowed to greet each other. You know, the social distancing of 1.5 meters. Everyone was spaced out in the church, so that there was enough space between everyone, so that the social distancing thing was in place. They had their hand sanitizers and whatever the case may be. So yeah, it's something that I'll probably not do for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
but I just wanted, you know, that one more. We'll still do our Bible study and stuff at home, but getting that external information is always a good thing.
But what I wanted to say with him going to the men's fellowship yesterday, he woke me up and he was like, "LIEFIE, I'm going to the men's fellowship, love you, bye." And then I had like 2 or 3 hours to myself, which was actually nice because we've spent it's been 2 months since we have done like this whole YouTubing thing together, and we've been like under each other's noses 24/7, and we are not used to that. Like Bren had a normal 9 to 5, you know, prior to this, so I was used to my like 8-9 hours by myself, and it's been quite the adjustment, but it was nice because I got to watch some YouTube videos. I like did a little bit of skincare, and I just had like my own sane time without any other external factors. But that going said, that after like the first hour or two, I was like, okay, when is he going home? When is he coming home?
Also, I just want to mention, having time for yourself doesn't necessarily mean that I have to go anywhere or whatever. Sometimes it just means I'll put an earphone and I'll play Xbox for 2 or 3 hours. And that's also taking your mind off, you know, it's your own world for that 2 or 3 hours. It doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be out drinking with friends or going away or whatever the case may be.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you don't want to spend time with me.
And I think everyone needs personal time to self-reflect and, you know, just be on your own.
So this person says that they live together, but from time to time he wants his own space. I think it's perfectly normal. I don't think you should take any offense to it. I think you should just accept that, you know, sometimes we get overwhelmed. Sometimes maybe he's just feeling a little bit stressed with everything that is happening. Maybe he's stressed at work, or maybe like there can be so many things, and just to give him that little bit of space. And sometimes just allowing it without him asking is also really important, just to be considerate that he might also just, you know, need a little bit of quiet time with himself, and not asking too many questions. If he, for example, says, babe, I'm going out with a beer or two for friends, and then you'll be like, okay, love you, enjoy. Like, not all the time. Don't
take her own advice.
No, but like, you go out with, you used to go out with friends, and I wouldn't complain about it too much. I'd be like, okay, just be safe, you know what, and then I would check up on you. But
yes, look, within reason, you need to be considerate. I don't think if he wants to go away every weekend, it's right. But yeah, like Jess said, if he does maybe once a month or whatever, have a thing where he goes out with the boys, just has a few drinks, maybe give him that space. Or if you, even like I said, if he just plays PlayStation for a whole day or whatever.
You don't, like Bren said, you don't necessarily have to go out to have your personal space. And if he wants to go out too often, then you should have a serious conversation to ask him, like, don't I interest you? Like, at least 70% of the time, because you should be interesting him. He should be seeking like a little bit of attention from you and ask you, baby, do you want to go play mini golfing or whatever. He should want to do stuff with you. I mean, Bren and I do stuff together all the time. It's just that small little percentage where you maybe just want some other human interaction. I personally don't. Like, I'm not I'm not the biggest like going out with girlfriends and like I would rather just spend time with myself. That's my treat. But just understanding the person that you are dating and just giving them that time that they need. And then I think this one is,
I think you can probably put both of them together.
Yeah, I think the last two, basically we're going to touch on two topics. It's basically one topic, but I was actually really, really sad when I read all of these like in-law ones, and I was actually shocked to see how many people actually have issues with their in-laws, or like, I think it's a very common thing, to be honest. So the first one here, it's also in Afrikaans and I'll translate it for you guys. Hoe weet jy nadat jy die regte een gekies het of hy die regte een is? Is dit wat jou familie kies? Want soms voel ek dat ek nie 'n keuse het nie. So basically she's just saying that, when do you know it's the one? Is it what your family chooses? And she doesn't feel like she has a choice. So
basically a family chooses for her because they disapprove or whatever.
I don't think that family makes the decision, but they have some valid input.
Look, me and Jess were discussing this quickly or briefly beforehand, and my personal opinion is, when you meet someone and you're in love or you in lust or whatever the case may be, you miss a lot of
valid points,
and you miss a lot of the things that they are doing to you that you might not recognize when you're in that relationship. We've had family members and friends, and we've seen how they were mistreated and whatever, and as soon as you talk to them about it, they're like, no, you don't know what you're talking about, you're not in the relationship. But I mean, you actually see the abuse that's going on, and until they get out of the relationship.
Not physical abuse, but like,
and
yeah.
well,
you make it sound really bad, but what he's trying to say.
Until they're out of the situation and they see that
Yes.
all the family was trying to do is warn me and protect me, because most of the time, and not all of the time, it's not like a blanket statement, but most of the time family just wants, they just trying to protect you and have your best interest at heart. So it's when they do have an opinion about someone, it might be a good idea just to try and take a step back and consider what they're actually telling you, but don't make their choices your choices.
Yeah.
Don't make your choices based on them, but also do try to take into
consideration that they might be seeing something that you are not seeing. It's not necessarily their choice, or that they don't want you to find love, or that they don't want you to date this person, but they might be seeing something that you are not. And then I'm just going to read a couple of the other ones that I got. I have horrible in-laws and my fiance is a mama's boy. I have awkward family gatherings and my mother-in-law hates me. How do you deal with your boyfriend's parents always finding their way into your relationship? I've been dealing with rude in-laws for 6 years. How do I approach or deal with it before we get married? And like I said, it's very saddening actually to see that people are having remorse with their in-laws, because essentially for me and how I picture it is you are getting a brand new mom and dad. Like you have another mom and dad, and you have another person, like two people to lean onto. You have two more people to support you, and essentially like an entire family. So it saddens me that people don't get along with their in-laws, because like I see Bren's mom and dad like as my own basically, and especially with my mom passing the past year, I kind of like see his mom more as a mom now, because I don't have my own anymore. And like it's sad, because I wouldn't want people to not have that. And like I love his family, and I think I love his family more than I love my own, and it's sad because
God, she doesn't love my family more than her own.
Like
she loves her family as well.
But yeah, it saddens me because I know that we all can feel rejected, and we all maybe feel that we are not good enough, and just as like the one part of the family, like for example Bren's family might want the best for him, and they might say that, you know what, I'm not good enough for him, blah blah blah, just because they want the best for him. So I should then, instead of go and say oh, they don't think I'm good enough, or they hate me, or blah blah blah, I should take a step back and say, you know what, I'm gonna prove to his family that I am the best person that he could ever date, that I, you know, can be the best wife, the best girlfriend, the best partner. And I think we should have like a switch mindset to say that I'm going to work as hard as I can to prove them wrong, even if they have doubts for no reason. They could have doubts for absolutely no reason, just because they have his best interest at heart. But I don't think, especially girls or even guys, like you shouldn't take it personally to think that they have something against you, because not that it was like that with like our relationship, but like one of my previous relationships, like the guy that I dated in school, his dad hated me. Like his dad did not like me, and he was so mean to me. So that wasn't something necessarily, you know, directed at me. It was maybe something that he hadn't resolved in his own heart and in his own mind. So I just feel like not taking something directly and making it all about like you as a person, and just thinking that maybe his mom or his dad just has his best interest at heart, and maybe you should just get to know them and just show them your best side, I think. Yeah?
Also probably need to take into consideration you do get in-laws that might not accept you and might not...
maybe they are rude, maybe they are mean to you, and just...
it's unfortunately something that you might need to deal with and live with, but if you can, and if you have it in your heart, you should try and build that bridge, go the extra mile to make it work. Because speaking from experience, meaning that we both have in-laws that we both appreciate a lot. I mean, I feel like her family is an extended part of my family, vice versa, and the relationship we've built with her brothers and, you know, stuff like that, it's been such a joy to us in our lives. With all of her, you know, her huisgesin, it's been like an extended family, and it's such an amazing experience. So for someone not to have that, it's just sad. So even if you might feel that you've been done wrong by his family, just try to build a bridge, because if it is there, that connection is there, it is a really blessed experience. I mean,
we would highly recommend and highly encourage it to just like build the bridge.
Try
maybe
and extend the olive branch. I mean, if it doesn't work, at least you know you tried your best.
Maybe like invite his mom to go do nails, or like do stuff like that to like gain her trust and her favor, and so that she, you know, would want to like you. Like there wouldn't be reason for her not to like you, you know. So but yeah, it is kind of eye-opening to realize that, you know, there are assholes out there, and sometimes families aren't as nice, and like we do sympathize with that, but I just feel like you can get over whatever you are going through right now. If something maybe happened and your partner's family does not accept you for whatever reason, I think the most important thing is just to like have a conversation and just like, you know, try and build that bridge and just start a fresh page, because you won't be sorry. There is absolutely nothing to lose. There's just more and more and more to gain. And especially before you get married, I think it's the most important thing to do before you get married, because essentially you are not just marrying him, you are marrying his family. Not directly, I mean, you don't have to spend time with him every day when you are married and when you moved into your own place. But why did you interrupt me?
The camera's gonna go off in 20 seconds.
Why?
That's just...
Hold on. Okay.
So it's not gonna stop?
Yes. You completely threw me off my game. What did I say?
You're talking about, it's not just about... Well, especially you need to resolve it before...
Hold me.
Before you get into marriage, because it's a family that you're joining, and it's...
And you have nothing to lose, you have everything to gain. And I think it's worse to essentially like break two families apart, rather than just adding two together, because that's what marriage is all about. It's about bringing two families together as a unit, and you wouldn't want to be the reason that two families aren't joined. So I think resolving everything that needs to be resolved prior to like getting married. But yeah, I think we've covered quite a bit in this video. We got way more questions, but we didn't want to go like we didn't want to jump too off topic and
Yeah.
like in between topics, so we'll definitely do another one.
We tried to go quite deep into the topic that we covered.
Yeah, so we didn't want to talk about too many topics, but we hope that you guys enjoyed this little sit down with us. We definitely want to do more.
Yeah, so give us a thumbs up if you liked our 2 cents.
And leave us a comment down below if you maybe have anything to add, or advice that you might have, or something that you would do differently in any of these topics. We would love to hear from you guys, or you LIEFIEs. We're still getting used to calling you LIEFIEs. But yeah,
Well, like I said, it's just our opinion, and we'd love to hear yours.
Yes, and then we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Love a little louder.
Nia, you said.
The thinking man.